Tonight on Haunted Homes, we visit a house in Wolverhampton whose inhabitants claim to be terrified of spirits that haunt the corridors.
It literally sounded like there was children there, really, really close to me.
Just petrified that the fact that I could believe, and I was so vivid and sure that there was somebody running around the building with me.
We'll send in the Haunted Homes expert team. Paranormal investigator Mark Webb, Professor of Psychology Chris French, and psychic Mia Dolan.
A very young child or baby's died in this property.
Their task is to uncover the mysterious disturbances, and if Mia finds a ghost, she'll expel it from the house in a clearing ceremony.
Oh God, what was that? That was from down there.
I'm shaking. I don't watch the camera shaking. This is not good.
The returning dead are regarded by some believers as frightening and demonic. With 50% of Britons believing in an afterlife, perhaps you've even experienced something supernatural. Tonight, we investigate Normanhurst House, said to be a children's orphanage that was converted 30 years ago into a local radio station. People working there are convinced they've witnessed apparitions of children playing and ghostly shadows. The first member of the Haunted Homes team we'll send in to investigate is Mia Dolan, one of Britain's leading psychics.
Psychic just means that I cover different areas in the paranormal. When I'm working as a medium, it means I'm working directly with spirit. I speak to ghosts. I speak to dead people. Even in death we have choice. And some people choose not to go over when they die, because they are so connected to their material possessions and what they think is theirs by right. Even in a house where you've got one person who really doesn't believe in all that stuff, but they can't explain what's going on, they're still very pleased to see me.
Tonight's case for investigation is Normanhurst House, a Victorian mansion where the ghosts of children are said to roam the corridors.
The original building was, I believe, is like an orphanage or a home for children. There's a real horrible room upstairs which has a horrible calm to it. They call it the chapel, and they say that's where they laid out the children who died here. They put them to rest until they could be, buried.
The staff have witnessed strange events in the building.
The temperature can change in a room really quickly for no reason.
People have also said that they felt that there's been someone with them, but when they've looked, there hasn't been.
Lights been switched on behind locked doors.
On the main staircase, you do get this horrible, unbalanced feeling.
There were rumours of people getting pushed.
Quite a few members of staff over the years actually have fallen down the stairs.
Julia, one of the station's journalists, was a new recruit when she had her first terrifying experience.
At the time, I didn't know anything about the rumours of ghosts here, and I never really knew at the time whether or not I believed in ghosts.
Julia was alone in the building when the unexplained happened.
I was the first person into the building, and I unlocked the doors and came into reception. And when I took the alarm off, I could hear, like children. It got louder, obviously, as I got nearer to where it was coming from, but I couldn't see anything. But it literally sounded like there was children there, really, really close to me. So then I was panicked, ran into the newsroom, put on all the lights, opened all the curtains, and just waited for the presenter to come in.
Most reports of paranormal activity happen at night when the station is running on a skeleton staff.
I've worked quite a lot here on my own at night, and it's not something I'm fond of doing. It's kind of a call of the radio station that you do need to be here at odd times at night.
John Wire is one of the station's DJs and has worked in the building for the past 10 years.
My dad used to work here. I was about 8 when he started working here, and there was all sorts of stories going around, like, oh, there's a caretaker, or sometimes there's some Victorian children upstairs singing nursery rhymes and stuff. And I don't know if I believed it or not.
John became more convinced of paranormal activity when he started experiencing it for himself.
It's about a year or so ago. I was staying late on a Friday, and I needed to do a lot of work for the weekend, and I was asking a colleague to come back in and help me. And he said, I'll be there in an hour, I'm just stuck in some traffic, I'm in Birmingham at the moment. About an hour's time, I heard the front door. There's somebody walking through reception, running up the stairs, open all the doors. And I thought, right, he's here now, let's get cracking. And he didn't actually come through my door.
He searched throughout the building for his colleague.
In the end, I thought, I can't find him, just find him by giving him a call. So I picked up my phone and I said, Chris, where are you? And he said, I'm still in Birmingham, mate, I'm running really late. And I was like, you're still in Birmingham, but I've just heard you come through the front door and run upstairs. He goes, no, that's not me.
No one else was there.
And I was just petrified. The fact that I could believe, and I was so vivid and sure that there was somebody running around the building with me.
You can download the single already.
DJ Andy Swift began working in the building 20 years ago.
When I first started here, a few things would happen occasionally and you'd dismiss them until I actually physically saw something one night.
Andy was doing the graveyard shift, and apart from the security guard, he was alone in the building.
It would have been about 3 o'clock in the morning. I was on air, and I was turned away from, with my back to the wall, working, and I turned and put my headphones on to speak on the radio. And as I turned, I thought I saw the shoulder of somebody walk past me. I just presumed it was the security guard who had popped up from reception. So I carried on, I did my link, took my headphones off, turned around to say hello to him, and he wasn't there. There was nobody in the studio.
Andy was convinced someone had walked past him and contacted the security guard in reception.
When I said, have you been to the studio in the last 10 minutes? He went, no, I've been sat on reception. My immediate reaction after I found out it wasn't him was panic. He actually stayed with me for the rest of the show. I wouldn't be left alone.
The staff believe the problem is intensifying and are worried about what might happen next.
When I'm working here on my own, it does make me worried. I do wonder if something's going to happen now, whereas before I didn't have that. You know, it's only a matter of time something else could happen again.
In an attempt to get hard evidence, we gave John, Andy and Julia a video camera. They spent the night alone in Normanhurst House. Julia and Andy begin the night's proceedings.
Right, and there's just one last light to switch off, which are the lights underneath here. Right, we are completely in the dark. Where are you, Julia? Don't leave me. Right.
They settle on the landing, in the place where they believe they have heard children in the past.
We've definitely switched the lights off, haven't we? Up here.
Yeah.
Okay. Those lights under a door there.
We found that one of the lights in the chapel was back on and we'd switched it off, and I watched Andy turn it off myself, and we both were quite scared at that point.
I'm so cold.
Can you see that?
What can you see?
Something's just moved. There's a crack in the curtain and something just moved past it. We'd seen what looked like a shadow first of all go past the window and then go past the top of the stairs. It was just, yeah, it was
shadow.
Just a shadow just went over the...
Did you see that?
I did see that.
I don't think we're alone, you know.
I don't think we should go that way.